Crypto market is starting to look extremely bullish, so much so that we have a rocket emoji apparently in the title. Rocket, get ready for explosive growth. Hot altcoins on the rise. When I need to know what's happening in the market and the charts, I go to Mr. Wick, the king of trading alpha. It's Wednesday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. He's going to show us what the charts are saying, what assets we should be looking at. I might even contribute some of my thoughts. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Man, I think it's our first rocket emoji title. I didn't even see it, but it's very exciting. Very exciting. Got the rocket.
Yeah. I saw the rocket and got me excited. I'm fired up, and we've got some things to talk about, Scott. So thanks for having me on, and I'm ready to get to it.
Yeah, man. Well, we've got Bitcoin trading right around 71,000. I don't think that's a huge surprise, but let's pull up your Bitcoin chart and take a look at what's going on here.
Okay, yeah. So we have the weekly chart here, and we can get to this right here, but this is very, very basic structure. And again, on previous episodes, we've shared this structure compared to the previous structures where halvings, after the halving, we normally base for about 3 to 4 months. So that's that period we're in. And as you can see, that's exactly what we're doing is we're basing. Okay. And the structure looks super, super healthy. You have your stage 4 downtrend. Everything's red below a red track line. You're not buying anything. You start to get your bottom signals. These bottoms start to be confirmed. You start to get green dots after the bottoms. So the bottom has been put in. We start to put in a stage 2, part 1, stage 2, part 2 over here. This is the part that everyone looks forward to after the squeeze shading here, Scott. But, I think that the biggest leg in this market, Scott, if I compare it to previous cycles, is not actually this leg. I think we have another parabolic leg, in my opinion, coming up after this basing over here. Now, what's interesting is that most people, Scott, when they look at this, they start to get scared because we're simply retesting the highs, right? And that's normally a very fearful time in the market. It places a lot of fear. But let me give you a little bit of my argument, right? Pretty much the last cycles, we see that it's bullish from here. But from a technical perspective, if we switch down to the daily chart, which is what is really interesting to me, right, is that we're currently having a squeeze shading right here at the resistance. Okay, so this squeeze shading is often what it takes to get us through and break us into that stage 2. In fact, if we revert one more time back to the weekly, we can see that what started a lot of the bull markets were these squeeze shadings where we had resistance. We came back up and we retested it again. Oh no, everyone gets a little bearish. We're going to fail at the retest of the highs, and all of a sudden we break through, right? So a lot of times these squeeze shadings here again, we have this resistance. Okay, we come to retest it, we break through. So again, my argument is on the daily, that's the setup that we currently have at play. We currently have the squeeze shading, letting you know a violent extreme move is coming. And within the squeeze shading, all we see is positive trend dynamics, green trend, micro trend dots, and green macro trend bars. The trend is telling us that this wants to break out to the upside. And this just could be the catalyst we need to break all-time highs, in my opinion. What do you think?
I agree. I just want to see it happen. I think that we get this classic. Well, we just get this classic situation where everybody was super bearish at sport, as always, and they're going to get really bullish when we get up to 73, 74 here, right? And so that's just resistance until it's broken. But I agree. I mean, I think it looks really, really good. I'm very happy that we're trading kind of, for me, I sort of just have this big range. I'm happy that we're trading in the top half of the range here. That's what just gets me encouraged. The break here, we got it at the top half, the dots, track line filling up. We got a teardrop there. I mean, this looks like it's at least going to 74,000. I'll say that. Beyond that, I want to see what it's got for us.
I agree with you. And I also like the fact that we got a bit of volume coming in on this squeeze too. So if we do get a breakout arrow, just like we did on this one right here, when we were at, 61,000, we had the volume pull up above the green line, which is your extreme volume on your alpha volume profile. And we're kind of seeing that again. So if this next volume bar here for tomorrow comes in again, a bit higher as well, this will give me some good confidence. But I agree with you. I kind of want to see all-time highs broken, right? Once that eventually breaks, that's when I get super bullish. You and I are a little bit contrarian. We don't get bearish at all-time highs. We get super bullish because there's no overhead resistance. So that's my outlook on Bitcoin. Let's move on here to WIF. You know, we got a couple meme coins that everyone's going crazy about. WIF is one of them. And well, I don't see an actual setup. There's not a squeeze shading breakout or a bottom signal. What I do see though is in the structure, and this is why I wanted to pull this chart up, is you do see that we're starting to make higher lows. There's a low, there's a higher low, there's a higher low, there's a higher low, and getting really close to this resistance. And what I actually shared in the Alpha, the VIP Discord, in the Discord section that you get with the Alpha bundle, is that this kind of almost looks like a fractal from before when we had our previous stage 2 breakout, right? If you look right here, we keep having higher lows, right? Higher lows, and then we go and eventually we get closer to the resistance, and then we break out. So this kind of looks like the same structure to me that we're seeing right here, in my opinion. Okay, so this isn't a buy signal on WIF from me, of course, but this is a hey, you know, pay attention, because if we do break this little resistance over here, I think for a second time, especially with the higher lows, I think we're going to be targeting all-time highs next. And this is especially true, you know, if Bitcoin breaks out and we do get that breakout from that squeeze shading breakout. So everything's kind of lining up. And if the market does give us what we want, we will see WIF, I assume, test and almost maybe break all-time highs if we can.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny the power of the memes.
Right. Yeah. And we also got a green
trade them. I don't, but you can't deny that they're here to stay for a while.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's take a step back from memes. Let's go to Solana. Okay, and this is an interesting chart that I wanted to point out. And I took the dots and everything away because I wanted to focus on these squeeze shading breakouts that normally happen consecutively through a bull market. Okay, so we are now getting a squeeze shading, and rightfully so. You know, Solana has been bent up. It's built up a lot of volatility, and this volatility needs to be released. So here is a squeeze shading setup. If this goes and has a breakout arrow, you can see that the last few times that we had breakout arrows, and I consider this one and this one and the same, we had really extreme moves. There's one right there. There's another one right there, right? And then, of course, the main one that got us started in this bull market right over here. So these setups, okay, that usually lead to huge moves in Solana is right now presenting itself again with Bitcoin. So you can see together how you're having this confluence in all these assets. So I really think that if we get that rip on Bitcoin, this whole market is poised to go higher. And I do have to point out too, there's a really beautiful double bottom right here. I can't go on without pointing something like that out. But anyways,
yeah,
I do.
I
see
love that we're
prices.
getting these squeeze shadings on a number of charts actually on the dailies with, you know, things pointing up.
Right.
That looks like Bitcoin, you know.
Exactly. I mean, the last time I remember so many squeeze shadings and breakouts to the upside was the last bull market, or even the 2017 bull market. So this is looking really healthy to me. And then, of course, if you want to switch to the weekly chart on here on Solana, you know, it looks pretty good too. Let's go ahead and add on our alpha trend. We'll put on our dots and track line. You know, we have got green dots, green track line. I again think this is just bullish consolidation before the next push higher, and that squeeze shading on the daily really gives me some confluence to that. So yeah, let's move on to the next one if you're okay with that.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, looking at SUI, this is another one that is very interesting to me. We've got a stage 4 downtrend. You don't not buy stage 4s. Stage 4s often end in two ways. Either we start basing in a stage 1 basing, waiting for that stage 2 breakout again to get our perfect entry, or we form a little double bottom, right? So this is actually presenting kind of both. I've drawn this line here. I've outlined stage 1. A break above this line, in my opinion, will start stage 2. And how coincidentally, we have a squeeze shading getting us ready for an extreme move. So watch this one, guys. I posted this one because if we do break above this level, we will have a squeeze breakout arrow, and that does usually form brand new trends. So this could be a very hot setup in the making, Scott.
Yeah, and it's got the green dot burning in. It's breaking the track line, which I've seen on a bunch of them. I think 100%. FTM I was looking at and looked kind of similar to that. It broke out.
Right. And, you know, some of my favorite setups have been whenever we get these double bottoms within a squeeze shading. It just, everything is there, right? That means so many traders, so many more traders are watching that move and just waiting for that break of the neckline. So yeah, very great setup here, and definitely one for the followers and viewers to watch on that one. Moving on to Jasmy. This is a coin that I've been giving setups in. It's done extremely, extremely well. We can see here on the daily chart that it's still got green dots. I'm putting this one on there because after getting some people in there, people are asking me, hey, John, should I get out? Should I get out? Should I get out? So here's what I'll tell you. If you're in a swing trade and you've gone through this stage 1 basing, stage 2 uptrend, stage 3 basing, get your Bs, green dots from your Bs, breakout stage, continuation stage 2. If you're swing trading this, then wait for the dots to at least stop printing. This is a nice parabolic move. There's no reason for you just to be a little bit more patient. And if these dots stop printing, then you can get out of this move. However, if you're scalp trading, if you're on a really shorter time frame and you're going to the 1 hour, you can see that we do have a squeeze breakout to the downside and things are going from green to red. It's not a great time if you are a short-term time frame trader. So there's my 2 answers for you guys. If you guys want instant gratification, it's time to get out. If you are more of a swing trader like myself, then give us a little bit more room to run. You've made a good amount of profit, and you know the dots will tell you exactly when that trend is starting to weaken.
Man, some of these I completely miss. I mean, I see
Right.
people mentioning Jasmy and all these things. I'm just so consumed with what I'm doing that I miss 90% of these smaller tokens that have moved so crazy.
And that's a good point. I bet you a lot of people, I bet you a lot more people feel that way than not, you know, and that's another good point to bring up here, that in a bull market, right, you can't just keep jumping from one coin to the next coin. I mean, you can if you want to, but Scott will probably confirm this. You'll probably make a lot more profit just focusing on a good, you know, handful, whether that's 5
I
to
mean, you
10
could just trade Solana and be fine, right? I mean, yeah,
I didn't want to say that. I was trading Solana last night live, actually. Yeah, you can definitely find a good volatile coin, you know, that's got a bunch of liquidity, and just trade the setups that come in Solana. You know, there was one right there. Your next one's coming. Actually, your next one was the B's coming up. And yeah, so you can definitely trade one coin, but, you know, to each their own. Let's move on to Pepe here. So looking at Pepe, this is another one that people keep asking us for. I think you and I completely killed this on Pepe on a few setups. Scott, you have the bottom signals here, squeeze breakout right before the bull market in Pepe. You got that, ends the dots right there. In your stage 3, go in your stage 4 downtrend. You miss all of this. You identify your stage 1 basing, breakout on green dot above the track line. We're back into stage 2, okay? So what do you do now is what they're asking, John. I don't care. I've been listening to you. We know these setups, John, so what are we looking at? So this is what I'm thinking right here. Here's your base, okay? What Pepe likes to do a lot of times, if you analyze this, it likes to make a leg up, likes to base a little bit, put in a low real soon, and then kind of base again, put in a low real soon, pop up, base, put in a low. So I think that this here was your low if I had to guess, right? And that's all it is just an educated guess. So I would hold as long as we close and stay on a close above this support line, okay? I have a good feeling that we could simply just base here and then pop up and retest and try and break out again. So, but this would be my invalidation line, and it also lines up good with the track line as well, okay? So that would be my not advice, but my opinion on where I would take profit if this had to go lower. I would stay in it until that line right there. And then if you want to look at
now it's printing green again. So
yeah, it's printing green, right? And you guys know from the show that whenever you get a green dot printing off of a track line, if that closes there, that's actually an actionable setup too. That's a very good setup. We had that right here, green dot printing right on the track line after it lost green dots. Boom, right off the track line, and that led a lot higher. This happens a lot of the time. So yeah, it looks good for now, guys. But as I said, this would be my invalidation point, and I don't see this to be the end of the Pepe move. I think that if Bitcoin flow is higher, you're going to see that same dynamic. You know, liquidity flows into Bitcoin, then into mid caps, and then into small caps, and we see the cycle just happen all over again. Okay, so yeah, I don't think it's done.
Yeah, everything looks good. It's hard to find. I mean, there's things that don't look like you'd want to buy them right now, but even the more bottom things looks like they're getting ready to reverse. I mean,
right, and you know how easy when everything stays green, right, and we're above a green track line with green trending dots, green macro trending bars. You know, it's a clear indication, right? You don't really need me, but if you want me to point this out, right, you can draw your levels and simply just, you know, when things start to turn red, it's obviously your time to get out here. So let's move over to Render. So Render, obviously another one of my favorite coins here. And of course, you can see exactly what I want to show you for those of you watching. You can see here that we had a squeeze shading with a bottom signal that was confirmed. Squeeze shading led to a breakout arrow that comes with the squeeze shading, letting you know that stage 2 uptrend is starting, baby. So what do we have now? We have another squeeze shading. It seems like this is all I'm talking about this episode, but that's a great thing, Scott. That means, I mean, this is, to me, this is indicative of a bull market. If all these things break out to the upside from squeeze shadings, right, this is just another indication that, yes, the best part of the cycle is yet to come. But again, here is another setup on render. If the market does pick up higher, we do have a first green dot that we've printed in a while within a squeeze shading, letting you know that a violent move is coming. So let's hope that all of these break out to the upside. Make sure you take note of the ones that I've mentioned and, you know, the levels. And if we do break out, that will be, you know, a good high probability setup. And then, Scott, I do have one more exciting thing to go over today.
This is the best thing. Forget the charts.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, let me tell you what happens when Scott and I go looking for opportunities. What we do is we go through tons and tons of charts and we look for setups, and it takes us a lot of times, and a lot of times we miss setups. So what we've created here, it's not ready just yet, but I wanted to give you a preview of what's to come. This is the trading alpha screener. Now you'll be able to go and choose cryptocurrencies, choose your time frame of choice. And let's say you only wanted to see things that were starting with the green dots, that green dots were starting. You click search, and all of a sudden you get the assets that are making green dots. So let's look at this ACH USD right here. This is how simple it would be once this is finished. And I can't wait for this. So what was that? ACH USD. You would type it in, you would go to it, and oh my goodness, look at that. It's printing its first green dot with any squeeze shading. Okay. So it pretty much helps you to not have to go through all those charts and identify the ones that are having our setups. And we have everything from squeeze breakouts to track line to dots. So I just want to let you know, guys, know that will be coming. And then, of course, one more thing before I go, Scott, we just did start a new 25% off sale. So if you do want these indicators, make sure to go in the comments there. We have a link to go to my website. And when you check out, make sure that if you want these green dots in the track line to keep you in the moves, it's called the Trading Alpha Bundle. Make sure you get the yearly subscription. It has the premium tools. And once you're checking out, just before you pay, on the left-hand side, type in 25 off to drop the price by 25%.
Yeah, I want you to click back on the screeners there.
Okay.
No, because we talked about this from the very beginning, and I don't think people understand how helpful this is. Because even like, though I scroll through these so fast, I still have to scroll for them looking for setups. I mean, I see RSI divergences there just to be able to like automatically get notified what looks good and what doesn't. It's going to save an immense amount of time and show you exactly what you need to be trading all the time.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, imagine if you could just go here to HTF squeeze breakouts. You want to see those shadings? You want to see all the shadings that are printing in all the cryptocurrency assets? You would simply just click that and click search, and they would all come up. You know, all the ones that I'm showing you. Again, me and Scott have been excited for this because it also would help us find setups for you guys. But this will eventually be available for the public. I'll probably be giving Scott access to this this week for him to test out, and then he can give you guys some feedback.
Dude, I can't wait. Yeah, we've literally been talking about this for how long? And you were like, I just got to get to my programmer. It requires me going.
I didn't even know if Scott believed me because I've been teasing him with this for so long. We went.
You just told me right before the show.
Yeah, I just said, hey Scott, remember that screen I was talking about? By the way, I got it going. Let's roll. So yeah, it'll be available soon.
Anytime and adds alpha, I'm here for it. It's amazing. So listen, I mean, just general, as we like to, obviously now you can get, you know, all of this and 25% discount with 25 off, as he said, but like your general view on the market here is no reason to be massively bearish, I assume, right? I mean, now it's a time where the market's generally bullish. You just got to find the right assets and setups.
Yeah, no. So I will underline this. I have not changed my bias. It still stands. I've seen nothing to believe otherwise. I believe that the best part of this bull market has not come yet, and it's still to come. I believe between now and next year, 2025, you know, maybe we get to April, May, and start having to pay attention. But yes, I 100% am a believer and still bullish on this market, 100%.
Love it. Love it. All right, man. Well, thank you. We'll be back, of course, next Wednesday. And I love now that when I can't show up, which has been a lot lately, you just show up.
Yeah, no. I think we have a good time. I think that the viewers like to go back and forth. So yeah, no, all works with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. We will be back, of course, 3:30 next Wednesday. Check out Trading Alpha. You guys see it in the newsletter. You see it when I share on Twitter. You see it when I'm on my new YouTube. This is what I use. So the only endorsement I could give is that I use it, right? And obviously you and Chardy. So that's what we got. Thank you guys. We will see you next week. Thanks, Wick.
Take care.
Right around.
That's dope.